Welcome back friends. Today we are going to solve LeanCode problem 305, longest increasing path in a matrix. So as you can see, this problem was asked by Facebook and Google in their past interviews. So make sure you understand this problem and practice this problem. Also, you might already be knowing, but on my channel I provide material to help people who are preparing for coding interviews and phone interviews in Java J2E. So if you are preparing for interviews or learning Java, then please subscribe to this channel. Here you will get a lot of good coding questions solved, as well as frequently asked Java questions that will help you in your interview. So please subscribe. So let's look into the description of this problem. So given a matrix, the elements in it are all integers. You need to find out the longest increasing path in matrix and return the length of it. The path can take any coordinate in the matrix as the starting point and can move in up, down, left and right directions. So you can move in four directions, right? Up, down, left and right, and ensure that the number on the moving route increases progressively. You cannot move out of the matrix. We guarantee that the number of rows and columns will not exceed 200. So maximum 200 rows, 200 columns, that is the constraint that they have given us. And we have to find out a path that is increasing path basically, right? So as they have given two examples, so as you can see this first example, so let us just take this first example over here quickly. So I can show you like how they what we are what is the problem and how we are going to solve it, and then we will discuss with another example the same thing. So let this just wait for a second. So yeah, so we have been given a matrix here, right? So this is the matrix they have given in the example: 1 2 3, right? 4 5 6 and 7 8 9. So this is the matrix that they have given, and we have to find out the longest path in this matrix, right? And length of the path we have to return as our answer. So as you can see, there are a couple of paths which are increasing paths, right? For example, if you start, let's say at node 5 right here, then you can see 5 to 6 is one path and 6 to 9 is another path, right? 5 to 6 to 9. So this is of length 3 basically. If you look at that path, it is length 3. Then if you start from 4, then you can go to 4 to 5, 5 to 8 and 8 to 9. This is another path, right? So this is a 4 length: 4 to 5, 5 to 8 and 8 to 9. This is increasing path, length 4 basically for this. So so if you see in this example, I am highlighting the longest path here now. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to, so actually this matrix is, this is one example that I was showing you, but in the example they have given us another example. So let us just move this here a little bit, and I can draw it like another the one that they gave us, right? So the example they gave us is this one. So 1 2 3 6 5 4. So as you can see, it is 1 2 3 6 5 4 7 8 9, right? So we have to find out the longest path in this matrix. So as you can see in this matrix, if you start at 1 and if you go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 and 8 to 9. So this one is the longest path and its length is 9, right? So that is what we have to return. As you can see, 9 is written and they have given us this is the longest path, right? So this is the problem that we are going to solve now. So the another example they have given us is this one, second one. So we are going to discuss our approach of how we are going to solve this problem and formulate the solution, and then we will discuss the implementation, right? So this is the path that this is the matrix 2 by 2 that is given to us. So what we will be doing is we are going to use approach DFS, which is depth first search, and we will actually start DFS. From every node we will perform DFS, and we will calculate the maximum path that we can find, right, which is the longest increasing path in matrix. So for example, if we are doing a DFS on these three, let's say, right, for example we are doing 3, then you can see that the longest path will be 3 to 8 and 8 to 9. So the total longest total path from node will be 3, the length will be 3, right, from 3. So I'm just writing it here. So the length of the path will be 3 basically for that case, right? So for other example, the longest path actually in this matrix actually is from 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 6, and 6 to 9. So these are 5, 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 9. So this one is the longest path, that is of length 5 here, right? Length is 5. So as you can see here, the output is 5, and this is the longest path they have given: 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 6, and 6 to 9 basically. So that is the increasing path, right? So so we will, when we will be doing DFS, we will have to go in 4 directions, as as written here, right? So if we are at ijth cell, then we will go upward, we will go downward, we will go on the right side of the cell, and we will go on the left side of the cell. So we have to go in 4 directions, right? And these the coordinates are also mentioned here. So if you are going upward, then it will be I minus 1j. If you are going downward, it is I plus 1j. If you are going on the right side, it is ij plus 1, and on the left side it is ij minus 1. So these are the coordinates we have to travel for each of this cell, right? So as you can see in this matrix, there are 9 cells, right? So total 9 times we will do DFS, and we will keep calculating, where we are passing the, where we are finding the longest increasing path, correct? So in that in this implementation along with the DFS, so for example, if we so let me just backtrack this little bit, so I can again reuse this same example, right? So if we are doing a DFS, then we will go in 4 directions, right? But we will only consider the directions which are going to give us increasing path, right? So for example, if we are doing DFS for 1, we can consider 3, because this one will give us an increasing path, right? This 2 is also going to give us increasing path, right, because this is more than 1, and 7 also will give us increasing path. So these we will consider. Now when we are at 2, uh, we can get an increasing path on 8, so we can go here 8. Then we can get increasing path at 5 also, right? So 5 also we can get, and we can get increasing path for 9 also, right? So that is how DFS works. So it will expand in 4 directions, and for each, from each cell, it will again try calculating the path, right? So that is how we are going to do the DFS. And other thing is, for example, we will calculate the DFS for each cell. uh, so let's say if we are calculating for this cell 3, so we will get path length 3, right? Because 3 to 8 and 8 to 9 is the longest path that is possible from 3. So we are going to store that as a in a memoization array, right? Because to solve this problem, memoization is required, otherwise it will the solution will time out, right? Because for example, let's say for this 3, the longest path is 3. Now if we are calculating the longest path for 1, then we will go and visit upward cell 3, right? Then if we have already calculated that 3 is the longest path from 3, then we are going to just use that result, right, from memoization, because we don't have to recalculate that problem, because we already have solved that sub problem here, right? So we will just take the result from that problem from memoization array, and then we will just use that when we are calculating 1 to 3 path basically, right? So we have to just add 1 into the 3 basically, so it gives 4, because 3 path we already have calculated. So which means that we will end up calculating a path only once for that cell, right? We don't want to recalculate it again basically. So that is called as memoization, right? Memoization. So I am just writing here. So this one is required, otherwise the solution will time out, right? Memoization. So we will use a same array 2 by 2, 3 by 3 means the two dimensional 3 by 3 array, and we will keep updating the memoization array as we are calculating the longest path from for each cell using DFS, right? And at the end we have to just we will just maintain what is the max variable, right? That will give us the max longest increasing path in matrix. So let us look into the implementation now for how we are going to like implement this. So first thing is we are just checking, you know, if matrix is null or its length is like a 0 row or 0 columns. In that case we are just going to return 0 because there cannot be any longest increasing path, right? Otherwise we have just calculated the like m as a row and n as our columns, right? From the matrix we are defining a visited array because in the DFS we once we visit a cell we want to keep track of what we have already visited to avoid revisiting the cell again and again, right? So that is why we are going to use visited array. It is m by n, which is equal to the same size of our matrix, right? And then again we are going to create a memo array. Memo array is for memoization, as I was explaining you here, to avoid the recalculation of already solved problem basically, right? So that's what we will be storing our result into this 2 by 2 array, and this is again same size of our matrix, right? And then we want to check in 4 directions, that as I was mentioning here, up, down and right and left. So we have created just another here array called as directions that we are going to use, right, to go up, down and left and right sides. And result is the result that we are going to get from our DFS function, and then we will be keeping track of the maximum, and then we will return that maximum as our longest path, right, of increasing path. So now we are going to do like a traverse here the matrix row by row, cell by cell, starting from this cell, right? So we will go from this cell, then this cell, then this cell, like this, you know, after that this cell, like this we will travel this matrix basically, right? So that's what we are doing, and for each cell we will invoke a DFS. We will invoke DFS function that we have implemented, and we will check if it is giving us a more or longer path, then we will update our race, right? Because math.max will calculate the maximum from both of these. So let us look into the DFS function now, how we have implemented this. So we are just passing the x, y, basically the cell coordinates. Then we are passing matrix. Then we are passing visited array, which is a Boolean array, right? And then our memoization array here and directions array here, right? So first thing is whenever we are doing DFS, first thing is we want to check if we have already visited that cell, right? If we have visited that cell, then our result is already stored in memo array at xy location that we will return. For example, if we have already visited this cell and calculated this cell in our memo array, then our memo array will have result stored at 0 comma 2, right? Because that is the position of the 3 element. So we will just get the result from 0 comma 2, right? Because this is 3 means 0 comma 2 basically. So that is where we will store the result. So we will just get the result from memo array and return. In that case we don't have to do any kind of DFS because we have already performed DFS for that cell, right? So this is a optimization, otherwise the solution times out. That's why this is important, the memoization part. After that we will just calculate I and j as a row and column, right, for the matrix, and we will just say result is equal to 1 in the beginning, and we are going to go in all 4 directions here, right? The 4 directions that I showed you here, these 4 directions we are going here, and then we are just adding that into our nx and ny will be the new x and y coordinate of the new cell that we are planning to visit basically, right? So we are planning to visit this nx and ny, which is a new cell, right? Like for example upward cell or downward cell or right cell or left cell, any of these 4 cells. But before we are visiting we want to check whether that cell is valid, right? It should not go outside of the matrix, so that's what we are checking it here. And the other important thing we want to check is that cell, the new cell that we are going to visit from the current cell, it should be greater, the value should be greater than the current cell, right? Then only we are going to get the increasing path, right? We are only interested in increasing path. So whatever cell we are planning to visit should have like larger value than what we are currently on. So that is what we are checking it here. If that is the case, then we will perform a DFS here with the new coordinate nx and ny we will pass here, right? Nx, ny, and other things we will pass as it is, like matrix visited, memo, and directions. So after that we will get the distance for that cell, and we will have to add 1 plus, right? Because we already have visited that cell basically, so we have to add 1 as a distance basically there, right? And then we will compare with the actual result, right? This result. So whatever result we get maximum, we have to take the maximum, right? Because we will go in 4 directions, and then 4 directions will give us different longest paths, right? So we have to take the maximum from that basically. That is what we are doing basically here, right? So that is what we are doing. So for example, let me just remove this so I can again reuse this example. So for example, if we are doing a DFS from this one cell, right? And if we are going to go to 3, right? So 1 to 3, 3 to 8, 8 to 9. So this one, this path will give us 4 distance. Now if we are going another path here, right, from 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 6, and 6 to 9, this will give us 5, basically 5, right? So we have to take the maximum from this 4 and 5 basically. So whatever we will go in all 4 directions, and we will take maximum out of it. So that is what we are doing here, and we will update our result, right? And at the end, once the for loop is done for all the directions, we will just go and we will update our result. We will make visited xy is equal to true, because we already have done our DFS for the xy cell, and we will update our result in memo array at xy location, right? Whatever length we have found, and then we will just return the result of the DFS. So that is I think pretty much it about the DFS, and I think I explained already in detail how the DFS we will do in 4 directions, and how we will have to always get the maximum from all the results here, right? And we will update our result at the end here, and we will just return result. So that is how we are going to solve the longest increasing path problem. So we will take few examples and make sure our solution works fine. So this one is the first example that we are taking, the first one here. So it should be 9. So as you can see, we are getting correct answer 9. Now we can take this another example, right? So let's take this another example to make sure this is also working fine. So let me just put this here. So now it should give us 5. So as you can see, we are getting correct result for that. Also it's finding the longest path, right? Longest path as 5. So 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 6, and 6 to 9. So let's go ahead, we'll just submit this solution. So as you can see, our solution got accepted by LeetCode. So this is the way you can solve the longest increasing path in a matrix problem. This problem was asked by Facebook and Google. So make sure you understand this and practice this problem. I already explained you with 2 different examples how our DFS solution works, and how we are going to use the memoization, right? Memoization will be required, otherwise the solution times out. So this is the optimization, and that is why it is required, because once we already calculate the longest path for that cell, then we don't have to recalculate it again, right? Because even if you recalculate, it is going to give you the same answer. So we are going to store the answer in our memoization array that we will be used in the whenever in the subsequent calls, right? So that is what the memoization is. If you haven't checked out already my playlist for LeetCode solutions, please check it out. It has over 100 solved problems explained with examples in Java code, and it consists of all different problems that are asked by big tech companies such as dynamic programming, array list, linked list related problems, Java, Java like tree map, hash map, tree set, hash set, all those problems are there. Also logical problems are there that were previously asked by big tech companies. So go through them. Also there is a Java interview playlist which discusses about frequently asked Java interview telephonic questions as well as other conceptual questions that were asked by big tech companies. So please go through them, practice them. That will definitely help you in your Java J2E interview preparation. Also, if you like this video, please subscribe and like it. Your subscription is really important to us because that is the way the video can be reached to more people. They can also get benefit of watching the videos and get help in their interview preparation in Java and coding interview preparation. So please subscribe it, and thanks for watching the video.